Genesis 7. Then Yahweh said to Noah, "Enter the ark, you and your household, for you alone I have seen to be righteous before me in this generation. You shall take with you of every clean animal by sevens, a male and his female, and of the animals that are not clean, two, a male and his female. Also of the birds of the sky by seven, male and female, to keep their seed alive in the face of the earth. For after 7 more days I will send rain on the earth, 40 days and 40 nights, and I will blot out from the face of the land every living thing that I have made." And Noah did according to all that Yahweh had commanded him. Now Noah was 600 years old when the flood of water came upon the earth. Noah and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with him entered the ark because of the water of the flood. Of clean animals and animals that are not clean, and birds and everything that creeps on the ground. By twos they came to Noah into the ark, male and female, as God had commanded Noah. Now it happened after 7 days that the water of the flood came upon the earth. In the 700th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, on the 17th day of the month, on this day all the fountains of the great deep split open, and the floodgates of the sky were opened. Then the rain came upon the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. On this very day, Noah and Shem and Ham and Japheth, the sons of Noah, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his son with them, entered the ark. They and every beast after its kind, and all the cattle after their kind, and every creeping thing that creeps on earth after its kind, and every bird after its kind, every fowl, every winged creature. So they came to Noah into the ark by twos of all flesh in which was a breath of life. And those that entered, male and female of all flesh, entered as God had commanded him, and Yahweh closed it behind him. Then the flood came upon the earth for 40 days, and the water multiplied and lifted up the ark so that it rose above the earth. And the water prevailed and multiplied greatly upon the earth, and the ark went on the surface of the water. And the water prevailed more and more upon the earth, so that all the high mountains under the heavens were covered. The water prevailed 15 cubits higher, and the mountains were covered. And all flesh that moved on the ground breathed its last. That is, birds and cattle and beasts and every swarming thing that swarms upon the earth, as well as all mankind, all in whose nostrils was the breath of the Spirit of life, of all that was on the dry land, died. Thus he blotted out every living thing that was upon the face of the land, from man to animals to creeping things and to birds of the sky, and they were blotted out from the earth. And only Noah remained, and those that were with him in the ark. And the water prevailed upon the earth 150 days. What's interesting here is that God does not put up with evil. God is still a seeing God. Verse 1, "For you alone I have seen to be righteous before me in this generation." And with that, God gave him the life-saving command to enter the ark. For everyone else, God does not hesitate to pronounce judgment. Verse 4, "I will send rain on the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and I will blot out from the face of the land every living thing that I have made." The same God who had the power and authority to create the world retains the power and authority to blot things out of the world. So what does this mean? God has every right to judge evil, and whoever God views as righteous will receive life-giving commands, and they will obey. Verse 5, "Noah did according to all that Yahweh had commanded him." How are we righteous in God's sight? The previous chapter, it says in verse 9, Noah walked with God. There was a relationship. Noah also listened to God, believed in God when he gave the warning, obeyed God regarding the ark. These are signs of those who are righteous before God. What is the basis for our righteousness with God? Well, in the same way that there were enough animals on the ark in order to, verse 3, keep their seed alive on the face of all the earth, so we are also keeping the seed of Eve alive through Shem all the way to Noah. God is still keeping his promise of a Savior through that line. Do we believe in God's promise? Do we receive the Savior? We'll eventually know the Savior's name as Jesus Christ, who is our salvation. These are my thoughts. Would love to hear yours.